extra, read all about it. Get your copies while they last. Stop the presses.
And now for something completely different.
Are you ready for a little truth? Are we not entertained? Wisdom is the proper use of knowledge and experience. There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. It's showtime! So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into. Now that's entertainment. Enlighten me a little. What you say is quite logical. And what did we learn? Prepare yourself for a little sensory overload. I came here for the truth. 7 years ago. Stand by the roll show intro. Roll show intro in 3, 2, 1, go.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.
Hello, America, family, friends, and listeners all around this planet we call home. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show, and I am Craig L. Hayes. It is good to have you here, and you're welcome. You're always welcome. It's the 11th of April, 2025, and today's topic is going to be one we've kind of talked about before, but it just keeps on going and going and going, and I'm getting really tired of the tyranny, and we're going to call this one Judicial Tyranny. We have to go through a little bit of history real quick and understand some things. The judges that have decided that they're going to interfere with President Trump's Article 2 authority, obligations, powers are not in the Constitution. Not one single judge that's in a district or an appellate judge is in the Constitution. Therefore, if you want to look at it, they are unconstitutional, in my view. Now, Congress set them up so that they could be doing some work within the nation and relieving the Supreme Court, because when the courts were set up at first, we only have a Supreme Court. That is Article 3. Now, it's fine that Article 1, the Congress, set up these smaller courts, but they are not in the Constitution. They can be set up. They have been set up in a way that's manageable by Congress. Congress has that authority. These judges don't have any real authority. The only court that has any true authority is the Supreme Court. Now let's take a look at a couple things here real quick. You have district court judges. Now, just so we understand, let's just go through it real quick here. There are 94, because I wrote these things down, I did some research. There are 94 districts in the United States of America and our territories. 94 districts. Within those 94 districts, there are some 700, almost 700, it's like 680 something, I think. I think there's about 680 something district courts within the 94 districts. Like if you're in District 1, you can have 10 different district court judges for doing different things within that area. That's where their power lies. They're supposed to hear cases that are according to federal law and rule on them according to the Constitution. Here is where it goes bad. Oh, then let's just do this real quick too. Now, appellate courts. There are a total of 13. 12 outside the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., and 12 others around the nation. Okay? 13 appellate court districts, if you want to call them that. Circuits. We'll call them circuits. So we have 94 districts. We have 13 circuits. X amount of districts are in each circuit court or appellate court district, or whatever you want to call it. So that means these judges who are exercising judicial tyranny, remember, they only have any authority. Now, Democrats, try to listen to this, because I know you're not that bright. I know you hate this country. I know you want to destroy it. You hate Trump. You hate Musk. You hate anybody that will interfere with your Marxist ideologies. I get it. But please understand this. This is actually how the Constitution works. This is actually how law works. This is how it's supposed to work. These little tiny district judges, and isn't it amazing that the ones they run to have these rulings are all appointed either by Obama or Biden, or maybe Clinton? You know, 3 presidents that would love to have destroyed this nation. And anyone who says, no, they don't, okay, let's go back to Obama 5 days before he was inaugurated. On the 15th of January 2009, he says, we are 5 days from the fundamental transformation of America. And the people cheered. Don't tell me they don't want to destroy this nation. Don't tell me they hate this nation. Just shut up and try becoming American instead of going along with Democrats who hate this country. You don't like it? Leave. I'll buy you a damn airplane ticket. So let's go back to these little tiny-minded district court judges. Okay, so we have 700. Let me write down. 700, almost 700 district court judges. Now, the district in which that judge works, let's go to Boasberg. He's the biggest idiot of the bunch so far. Boasberg can make a ruling and say his area that he's in charge of for any court cases happen are within a 5 square miles of the district that he's in. 5 square miles. That means whatever he rules only pertains to that 5 square miles. Period. End of story. He cannot cross the street on the other side of his 5 square mile border and have anything to say, because there's another judge right there who can rule the exact opposite. He only has authority in that tiny little district. Do you get it yet? Do you understand this stuff? Do you understand how it's supposed to work, and why the Founding Fathers set things up the way they did, and why Congress set the things up the way they did? They did it because judges are supposed to be the weakest in the federal justice system or law system or legislation or whatever. They're supposed to, out of the 3 branches, be the weakest, because judges exercise more tyranny on the American people than any party besides the Democrat Party. And we can see this because all these judges are pure Democrat ideologues, and propagandists. Proponents, whatever you want to call them. That's who these people are. So outside Boasberg's, we'll call it 5 square mile area that he's allowed to rule on anything inside his district, he cannot do anything outside that area. But it did not stop him, did it? Or all the others that are doing it. Now, if the people don't agree with the ruling, they can take that ruling that's within that tiny district. Where does it go? It goes to the Circuit Court of Appeals covering that area. Now that area may cover 4 states, 8 states, 3 states. Who knows? It's by population and workload. Some states have like 8 or 10 different states in it because they're low population, low and such. Some places have 2 or 3 states because there's so many people there. Get it? Do you understand it so far? Democrats, are you still with me, or have your eyes glazed over because you're stupid? Are you paying attention yet? Are you understanding? Do I have to slow down in my talk, or do I have to give even easier examples? Yeah, I'm being sarcastic. Yes, I'm being caustic. Yes, I'm being a lot of things. But I'm sick to death of you people destroying my nation and destroying the lives of my kids and grandkids' futures. So, let's move on a little bit more. Now, the appellate court can sit there and say, we support what small-minded, little tiny appellate court judge Boasberg said. We support that. We think he's correct. And we are going to uphold what he has to say. Now, do you know that the appellate court can say that? And that ruling then stands for those 4, 5, 8, 10, 12 states that they are over. Period. End of story, period. They have no national authority. Just like little-minded, stupid ideologue Marxist Boasberg has no authority over the whole nation. He doesn't have any authority outside his little 5 square miles, call it. So, you don't agree with what Boasberg says? It doesn't matter. You can take it up to, what's next? The Supreme Court. The Supreme Court may go along and say, we agree with what the Circuit Court said and what Boasberg had actually ruled on. And we will put a national over every court, over every circuit district, and over every district in the nation. It will be followed accordingly. They're the only ones that have that authority. So, let me ask you this question real quick here too. Boasberg, being a tyrannical judge in a tiny little district, says this applies to the whole nation. Now, that is when President Trump should just look at him, laugh, give him the middle finger, and just keep doing what he's doing. Along with all of these rulings that come from these judges, these left-wing, radical, Democrat, Marxist judges. That's who they are. If they're appointed by Biden, let's go review. Biden, Obama, or Clinton, they're left-wing, radical, tyrannical judges, activists, whatever you want to call it. But they have no authority outside their district. Let's keep emphasizing this. They have zero, not any. Some district court judge in Las Vegas, I'm up here in Enterprise, Utah, sits there and makes a ruling and says, this applies to you, Craig, up there. even though you're 4 districts away from me, I'm going to flip them off, say, screw you. I'm not listening to you. You can't do anything about it. Well, I'll give you an issue of contempt. I'm not in your district, you shit brain. Bite me. Get it now? Are you people who getting an understanding of this? Hold on. Excuse me. It is allergy season. Sorry about that. President Trump is a far better person than I am. He's always been one that complies with what judges tell him, even though he knows that those judges are acting outside their judicial authority, outside their areas, and they're implementing national policy and taking over the responsibilities and authority of the President of the United States by telling him what he can and can't do. Now, I know you Democrats love that. You Democrats love that. Isn't it amazing how much you love that? Let me see. You Democrats had a president by the name of Joe Biden in there who decided he was going to illegally, unlawfully, and unconstitutionally dip into the United States Treasury and pay off people's students' loans. It went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, you're violating Article 1 of the Constitution because you do not have Article 2 authority to violate Article 1. Only Congress can authorize this money, so sorry, you can't do that. President Biden goes ahead and does it anyway. And then he goes, I'm going to do it again. The Supreme Court says you're not allowed to do it. He says, I'm going to do it anyway. And he brags that he did it anyway. He violated the Constitution. Not once, but twice. You Democrats cheered. You Democrats thought that was awesome. You Democrats, knowing that that's a violation of the Constitution, separation of powers, decided that was so cool that you would pay off some people's debts with money from the USA Treasury. We don't really care that it was unconstitutional. We still think it was great. Now we go, President Trump, following the Constitution, immigration law, and forgot the name of it, 1798 law that was for terrorists, basically, to stop terrorists, be able to send them home. Anyways, that law. He uses those laws, he uses immigration law, and he uses his constitutional authority to take and have foreign policy decisions and get rid of terrorists in our nation, known as, what was that, Tren de Alagua, MS-13, and others, just by picking them up and saying, you're gone. You're all gone. Oh, excuse me. He's following law. He's following his constitutional authority, and you guys have to stop him. He has to be stopped. You guys lose your ever-loving friggin' minds because he's following the law and the Constitution. But yet you cheered when your president, that POS Joe Biden, violated it left and right. Are we supposed to take you guys seriously? Are we supposed to listen to you guys at all? Are we supposed to think that you guys have any mental capacity to actually do what's right for this nation and not destroy it like you are doing? You're disgusting. The best thing could happen to this nation is all Democrats could be shipped out of here to somewhere else and take a bunch of rhinos with you. In fact, take all the rhinos with you. So that's where it runs, and that's how it works. If I sound like I'm getting a little annoyed with it, or if I'm calling you names and you don't like it, I don't really care. I'm sick to death of you Democrats. The Democrat Party is the evil scumbag party of this nation because your arm and are locked in with Communist Party United States of America. They run you. Communist Party USA runs the Democrat Party, which is kind of weird, being that supposedly, Democrats are for freedom, but they are actually the party of slavery. Remember that. You Democrats are all in favor of slavery. All you people who vote Democrat, you're in favor of slavery. That is your party's history. Don't ever forget it. Now, how do we fix this? Well, Congress has taken a couple steps already and sitting there saying judges can't pass the law in the House and stuff and send it off to the Senate. See what happens there. That says district court judges don't have any national authority. I think they should include it. Circuit Court of Appeals don't have any national authority either. That would slow down these idiots that are dressed in black robes and pretend like they're anything more than slip and fall lawyers in robes. So this is where we're standing. And do we stand? Do we stand to fight these guys? We have to be vocal, be out there, and don't let them take an inch. Push back, take a mile. Shove them into the oceans, per se. Make them swim to some other country that'll take them. But don't give in. Fight, fight, fight. Anyhow, that is our show today on judicial tyranny. Hopefully hopefully Democrats understood some of what I said. You're not going to agree with it, even though it's plain and simple, even though it's right there in the Constitution, even though it's right there in basic law. You're not going to agree with it because you don't like it, because you don't like this country. End of story. So, we're going to keep on rolling. And I'm going to come up with another one here in just a little bit. I got a list of a couple of things I want to talk about today on the other shows. But until then, Dalbert, take it away.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.